What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, whatever you choose to celebrate this week, along with happy birthday to myself, along with Doc Lesnar.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is a Flow Show, another week in wrestling, and we can not waste any time and talk about how garbage the Survivor Series pay-per-view was. You guys want to get into that?
You know how confusing it is though, because all I see you do is post happy birthday stuff to Doc, and then I see Doc do happy birthday stuff to you. So I'm like, oh man, whose birthday is it? But it's really both your birthdays.
But what's funny about it is, like, when I called him on the day of our birthday, before I'm just calling him just to follow up on something, and he's like just singing happy birthday to me, and I was like, oh, was that mean I gotta call you back and sing happy birthday to you? Like, oh yeah, let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. And then so yeah, it's two people, one birthday. I know it's a hard concept to nail down, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I was laughing because he was like posting pictures that I've never seen before, like happy birthday at Kwency Jones. Cool. I'm like, oh, okay, I just live down the street from you. I can't even see these pictures when they come out regularly. But it's
and you guys have a new song out?
We do. World's Greatest Tag Team, WGTT.
It's actually that's one of my favorite tag teams of all time.
Dude, I love like I said, I'm Shelton Benjamin. We don't see much Charlie Haas anymore.
Yeah.
It's brand new track off my brother's upcoming EP. This is awesome. Produced by Awesome Beats, OSYM. We've had this loaded in the chamber for a while. It was just on him when he wanted to release it and stuff like that. We had actually a whole entirely different beat that it originally was on, and then that one got, I think he had to sell the rights to it, or so I forgot what happened. But we ended up getting a different beat. The beat, I mean, not that the last beat wasn't good. It was a different feel, and the hook overall kind of fit better with this beat. But yeah, it was cool. I haven't done music in a while, and let alone be my next release, be part of my brother's project, and on a track with him, World's Greatest Tag Team. So it was funny though, because he released that little promo video, and I called him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm the only video maker in this family, bro. Like, I'm not the head of the who said, hey Oos, who said you can make videos, Oos?" But nah, yeah, it was all good. I was laughing because he started a countdown for it and didn't even tell me that he was planning on dropping it on her birthday. So I just kind of got hip to it, talked to him. He finally sent me all the photos and shit. But shout out to everyone that checked it out. Shout out to everyone that's been banging it out and hit us with feedback and stuff like that. Like I said, it's good getting back in the booth with my brother. I think we're planning on doing like a video or some sort of visual for it some way somehow. But yeah, we thought the best way, 35th birthday, we're gonna give a gift to you guys. So yeah, check it out. It's on Spotify. It's actually everywhere, but you can check it out for sure. Spotify. Doc Lesnar featuring yours truly, Kwency Jones. Go WGTT. World's Greatest Tag Team. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
I texted your point. I said, "Happy birthday, man! 6-man tag, World's Greatest Tag Team remix, Mega Towers and Young Baca." And I sent him the photo of Kevin Steen with the Young Bucks. That could be you trying to do Mount Rushmore? I see. That could be us, man. 6-man tag. You guys are Bucks. I'm the outside guy coming in. 6-man tag remix.
We'll do it. Or you could have said that we're the Usos and you're the head of the table.
Yeah, no, because I think that's a better part, because there's no discussion about who the head chief of this podcast is. And that's you.
It's obviously Kwency.
Yeah,
it's obviously Mac Lowe, right? I mean, he
always gets a big square. I've always noticed that Kwency gets a big square, which I'm.
It's a rectangle, damn it.
Yeah.
Big square.
But nah, you know what? Like, yeah, Survivor Series. I got the day off for Survivor Series, and it sucked. I was like, I should have worked. No lie, but I had fun.
That bad. You guys are just over. You guys doing
well.
Indie wrestling thing that you guys do.
But overall, it wasn't that great.
Well, the main thing that me and my brother were talking about was, like, you can't have this kind of theme for a show when there's no fans, because that's part of it. Like, you know, the fans react to the Sole Survivor, like the surprise eliminations. Can you imagine, like, I'll put it like this. We felt so underwhelmed for the Survivor Series card that we actually ended up throwing on the Survivor Series match for, I think, 2015.
2016, maybe? Is that the one?
Was it 16 where Sting showed up?
Oh, okay, yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
15.
That's the official 16.
And then the only reason why, because it was like, dude, it's just the lack of fan reaction. You know what I mean? Like, it really was like deafening, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I mean, you had, Raw, Team Raw, just like totally just bend freaking SmackDown over a barrel. Like, I was just like, what was that about? It was just
I'm not
weird.
gonna lie, I genuinely enjoyed it though.
Oh, watching them just suffer.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't know if I've changed my mind on this in the last 2 to 3 weeks or so, but Raw is slowly becoming better than SmackDown again.
Raw's good.
Yeah, like
Raw was good this week.
I watched Raw and I was like, oh, that's like it's funny how all you had to do was make. I know it kind of hurts SmackDown. Like we want that balance, but having all 5 of them just run through SmackDown, we all now look at all 5 of them as like legitimate contenders for Drew McIntyre's title a little bit, right? Like they're not, they might not win, but they're at least contenders. So now, if you look at it, like Raw's main event scene is stacked, and then you have the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley dealing with whoever they're dealing with. Matt Riddle might lose a triple threat, but it looks like he might start a thing with Hurt Business based on the MVP interaction. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces, and it looked like they used to move pieces just for the sake of moving pieces, but it looks like shit's making sense. And
no, you're absolutely right, because that's why we used to have like some like WTF. Like I don't know why they even went that way. I mean, besides the fact that it seemed like they just needed to fill time for TV that week, right? But yeah, I mean, like they're actually, and they're not doing anything that we haven't seen them do before. But it seems like they're getting a little bit more of a better idea of what they want to do going forward on Raw, because for a while it seemed like, okay, we got the draft and we're just gonna just fluff it up until because we got to get ready for Survivor Series anyways, right?
Right.
But yeah, like you're right. I mean, we have 5 viable contenders for Drew's championship. Well, 4 if I'm pretty sure Strowman's gonna get fucking suspended or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But still, you have guys that you can you have new toys you can play with, new matchups that you can mess around with. And to your point with the Hurt Business stuff, like I won't say I was a fan of seeing Riddle interact with them, because I just felt like it was whatever. But I mean, it gives him a direction, and then now it like standard stuff. You plant the seed, then you follow up on the development of it. So
who do you think wins the triple? Like, so I heard a story that if Braun Strowman's knee is good, that he'll probably face Drew McIntyre for the title of TLC. But if that's not the case, it's going to be someone from this triple threat match. Who do you think from this triple threat match though is going to win and have a case? So I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably Keith Lee.
Keith versus Drew at TLC.
I think they would do AJ, but I think they want to wait.
Okay.
For like maybe Rumble or maybe a bigger pay-per-view. Because that's the only thing I'm thinking about is the logic of, is it the pay-per-view that they're going to be winding down the rest of the year with? So I don't know if they really plan on having Drew drop it. It seems like this is more around the time he's going to win it again, and then continue the reign up until Rumble, and then we get a peek at who he's going to be looking at towards like WrestleMania season. But
that's why
I don't know.
AJ could win, because I feel like AJ could take a loss and it won't affect his his status too much.
Actually, that would be interesting because he has the bodyguard with him this time. So because that was the only thing I was worried about, was the fact that I was like, yeah, but AJ, I wouldn't believe that AJ would be able to take it off Drew, just because as much as it sounds fucked up, it's like he's just super smaller and shorter than he is.
Right.
Wow. It is what it is, bro. I mean, if you see Bret Hart facing, like Bret Hart versus Diesel, the only he lost, and the only reason why he won is because he had to do a sneak small package after he got powerbombed 3 times. You know what I mean? So just on paper, it doesn't look like realistically he'd serve as a threat. And I know AJ Styles. Like, I love AJ Styles. He's been my favorite. He's been in my top 5 since like the last 15 years. But in terms of this, like, it's different from seeing him go against, like, if it's TNA or Impact. Yeah, him versus Drew McIntyre for sure. But the way they've changed the perception of each guy, I'll play this. Like, it seems like they really want to go with Drew right now, and I don't see them picking AJ to be a fall guy. As far as continuing that development for him, but he would do business. I just think that as far as storytelling, it would make sense if it was Keith Lee, because they already have like this familiarity with with each other. But
I guess
then
you
again,
could protect Keith Lee in a TLC match too if you had to.
I was. That's true. I mean, because that's the only thing I'm thinking of. I'm like, where do they go? Where do they go with the rest of these guys if that's not what they're gonna do? You know what I mean?
I don't mind people taking an L in the title match as long as they still float in the picture. What happens a lot of times is they go for the title, lose, and then
just
they're
disappear.
not even in any picture at that point. They just go.
Yeah, no, they're back like Ricochet.
Right, exactly.
Freaking has a match against Brock, and then next week he's back on Superstars. So it's like,
yeah.
So, dude, I feel bad for Tucker, bro. Tucker had the big heel turn and turned his back on fucking Otis, and then he immediately has like a new look, new song, and he's not even on Raw anymore.
How like racist is Otis's new theme sound?
Oh, dude, it's so like blue collar man, and it's just like, wait, what? And I'm just like, dude, like it sounds like it's like. I feel like this is one of the themes that like Cameron Grimes passed up on. Like, nah, this is too on the nose, bro.
I honestly feel like just give Otis the old Heavy Machinery music until you find something more suitable.
I think the only reason why, because I was wondering, I'm like, why wouldn't they give that to him? But I was like, probably because of the same thing with like Keith Lee, with the old music and stuff. I was like, maybe that's part of it. But one thing worth noting is Keith Lee finally got new music. So
yeah, that's true. Like I said, like looking at Survivor Series in hindsight, what happened on Raw the next day, I actually don't mind that the Raw team ran through the SmackDown team. It's not like the SmackDown team.
Knowing that they had kind of had a plan after it, yeah.
Who's to say they had the plan? They just might have came up with it.
Oh no, that's very true because it could have been like 2 hours before fucking airtime. But I will say, because I watched SmackDown last night, and I actually enjoyed the direction SmackDown went.
SmackDown was great.
Yeah. I mean, because we were talking a couple weeks earlier about whether or not Kevin Owens was still like a main event guy, and it looks like they're positioning him against. I was gonna say, it looks like they're positioning him to be getting a place at the table next, so to speak, against Roman. So, I mean, I don't see him winning, but I definitely see it helping Kevin Owens for sure. I mean, he's already he's a Triple Crown champion already, which is pretty impressive, seeing he hasn't been there like that long. As far as the main roster, I should say.
Triple Crown is what? Heavyweight uniform NXT?
Yeah, he's won he won any 3 belts.
World title.
Yeah, he's won.
Title, and
he
won the other card title.
That means R-Truth is Triple Crown winner too then.
Who?
R-Truth.
R-Truth? No, he's for sure. He's
I don't think that's a good
US title, 24 hour.
I don't think that's impressive stat being a Triple Crown winner when you have 20.
Well, it depends, because the 24/7 championship may have been the reason why. You know what I mean? Without the creation of that, I know he was US champion. I think he was tag champion with John Morrison once. But other than that, but with Kevin Owens, he's been Universal champ, IC champ, and US champion, which is pretty impressive.
He's been NXT champ.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, I thought maybe him and Jericho were tag champs once, but I guess not.
I honestly still think there should be a Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens tag team.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know what they're doing with Sami right now, bro. Like it makes him look so weak.
He's in general on TV every week, man.
Yeah, he's on TV every week, but I mean, like,
he's a heel. He's a baby shit heel.
Baby shit.
He wins matches by count outs and roll ups and cheating. That's what he. I
feel like we already have that with like King Corbin.
Yeah, but he's not.
You know what I mean? But he's a king. Haha.
So Sami Zayn's at least fun to watch.
I mean, they're not as bad as the Mysterio family.
Even if you did a dynamic of heel Sami with face Kevin Owens, like.
Yeah, we talked about like
Adam Pearce threw the tag team together randomly, Sami loses
say Kevin Owens had a partner and like Sami had a partner, and then they both got attacked or something, and they just like fucking we'll just throw you guys together.
You could even pull off that Kevin Owens needs a partner. He like stubbornly decides I don't need a partner or whatever, and then all of a sudden he comes out and then Sami Zayn's music hits. And Sami Zayn's being a piece of shit. He's like, "Nah, I'll be." And Kevin was like, "Nah, I don't want you to be my partner." But then he just gets up on the rope. He's like, "All right, ring the bell," and then they start doing well together, and then
I can see that. And then what would build it would just be all their interactions outside the ring, which is just him annoying Kevin all the time.
Right.
And like, so it'd just be, you would get the comical entertainment factor for sure. I mean,
it would be kind of like Team Hell No in a way. Like,
well, I mean, just like the way those guys were when they were together, when they were both heels. Remember when Sami came back super snarky and they were doing like the Sami and Kevin show? No, it's the Kevin and Sami show. Like, they were awesome then, you know. So the fact that they got to work together again, but make it seem like they totally hate each other or they can't stand each other,
like
they really do, yeah.
Like, if the Survivor Series told us anything, it's that the two best tag teams are on two separate brands.
Yes,
and that was a great match, right?
The Usos.
That's probably possibly the match of the night next to. I mean, I enjoyed Roman and Drew, but it got boring at times a little bit for me. But other than that, yeah, they had the tag match between New Day and Street Profits is really good.
No, that was probably in my opinion, the tag match and the men's match was my favorite matches of the night. I do feel like the men's tag match, the men's 5-man elimination match, had the most stakes because it allowed, Jey Uso had to dealing with Roman Reigns at the end. All 5 men on Raw ended up getting a title opportunity, like an opportunity at getting an opportunity, if that makes sense. It was like in hindsight, like I said,
there were certain things like in that men's match where I felt like there was either missed cues or things that went too early that kind of took me out of it. Like I feel like there's like the fact that they were like pretty much dropping like flies. I was just like, dude, what kind of fucking match is this?
Well, how do you feel about Seth Rollins' sacrifice?
I was about to bring that up because it made me think that Sheamus was going to get involved in the main event because if he kept saying it was for the greater good, but when he like pretty much told him to like hit him with the bro kick, he if you notice he says do your part, and I was like, do your part. I'm like, what is this about? And I was thinking, I'm like, maybe that's like a cryptic message for him to do his part later in the night to help Roman win for Team SmackDown. But I was like, wait, but he has there's no like, you know what I mean, like benefit directly for Seth if he does that.
I think it'll be a forgettable.
It was really. I mean, obviously, it was like a way to write him off, so he didn't have to. He's like, no, I'm gonna leave here and go straight to my unborn child. But
what would have been really interesting?
He's gonna hate being at home, man. He's just gonna be laying there.
What's
Dominic getting all this ill time? He's gonna be pissed off.
It's just gonna be him and Becky fighting over who the real man is of the house. Yeah.
What I think would have been really interesting and funny in a way, and this would have, I think, tied into Roman Reigns later if Seth comes back, is Jey is trying to keep order on the team. If Seth kept trying to sacrifice himself, but every time he got hit with a bro kick or he laid down or something, somebody would break up the count, and then Seth would start getting upset because he's trying to sacrifice himself for the greater good or whatever.
He's like, let me do this.
But the team won't allow him to do it. And then it's pissing Jey Uso off. And then Seth and Jey Uso before Seth, and then Jey Uso, I don't know, maybe after the match or something, beats up Seth Rollins so badly that writes him off TV. So when Seth Rollins comes back, he's going after Roman Reigns in the title.
I would like to. I've been wanting. I mean, when I saw that Seth got moved to SmackDown, I was like, okay, him versus Roman would be great because they're two different places, but they're both heels. But still interesting because they're two different character work than they would. You know what I mean? The last couple of years that they've went against each other.
I don't mind heel versus heel or babyface. As long as there's two different characters.
Yeah, I just didn't want to see it right away because then you're going to waste it, and then you were like, okay, then who else?
Yeah,
and
because then the Friday Night Messiah versus the head of the table.
Yeah,
would be really good.
Well, I think he's not even the Friday Night Messiah. He called himself. What did he call himself at one time? He said like oh man, it was another term. It was like another term. I can't remember. It was like the something of Friday night is what he called himself. But it wasn't like, he didn't just change it. He didn't go the RVD route and say, I went from the Friday night to Mr. Monday night to Mr. Thursday. Like, he didn't do that. He actually came up with a whole different thing. But you know what? I wouldn't be mad, to be honest, if they're going to write him off TV and have Jey get the rub. That would have been good, especially if he's going to lose the SmackDown Survivor Series match anyways, or for SmackDown. It's like he at least get a little bit of rub off of, taking out the Messiah for the greater good of the head of the table, so.
Right.
But I know Baca loved when Roman walked out slowly with that new shirt and he had to dress down the Usos.
Yo, man, I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. I think he's been doing great, especially him with Paul Heyman. Even Paul Heyman just does subtle stuff, like just keeping his eyes on him, just not.
Dude,
He acts like he's scared of him, which is super dope.
No,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
This is there's a lot of pressure. I think on Roman
He's
Reigns,
like
though.
I think he's been doing great.
Like Paul Heyman, he's been acting like Iago to Roman Reigns Jafar, if I could say that.
That makes sense. Like,
by the way, did you see that meme that went out that said that Roman Reigns is Uncle Scar and Drew McIntyre is Simba? Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I mean, character-wise, a little different, but look-wise, yeah.
I enjoy SmackDown.
I love SmackDown.
do, but I do believe that there's a lot of weight on Roman Reigns' character and the stories to be good.
I believe so. Yeah.
And do that week to week, whereas Raw,
well, they can't just
a little
be
deeper.
Yeah, it can't just be Roman. I mean, like I look forward to the new chapter of the Roman story every week, but you're right. It can't just always fall on Roman to have that interesting side of things. And it's just, okay, Roman, and then a bunch of wrestling matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to see, I mean, it looks like they're slowly trying to get Daniel Bryan working into that storyline as well. Mm-hmm. But if they were to put more focus on someone else to help make them a star as well, especially when Seth is going to be gone for a while, then yeah, they need to do something. It can't, like you said, it can't just fall on Roman every week. So
I would like to see.
But that's what happens when you're the main event guy. It falls on you, man. That's just
no.
But business has been since day one.
But what I'm saying is they not to say that it's pressure. I don't think it's Roman feeling the pressure, but I'm saying from a fan point of view, they can't just let it all fall. Because I mean, we've had that complaint before, like back when it was like the Triple H or the McMahon Helmsley era. It was like every show was tied around McMahon and Helmsley. You know what I mean? We didn't see any emergence of new stars. We saw just, it was the same thing. They put up a challenge. These guys speak up to the challenge. They think, we get led to believe they're going to overcome the challenge, and then they got more guys to beat them up you know what I mean? So, to me, I've been enjoying the Roman Reigns story, but
I love it.
I think that they do need to lighten the load a little bit for Roman, because not to say he hasn't been hitting a home run every time, he's going to get. It's not going to be like that every single time. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'll help him. But when, like, my other point is, if they were to put focus on someone else simultaneously, it's only helping to give him better and bigger challenges in the future as Universal Champion. You know what I mean?
It should be. There should be a smaller yet just as much focus on Big E over here.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns up here over there. And then eventually the fans would like to be given the idea that eventually they will meet, even if it's not WrestleMania. They will
honestly Roman and Big E would be good. I think that'd be. I mean, they got to build to it. I mean, I think we saw a little glimpse of that. Who was it? Him and Sami Zayn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then. By the way, I know Baca just loved the fact that they just plucked Apollo from Raw and just made him hang out with Big E. I'm like, oh, okay.
You gotta have two black guys hang out with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me throw this out there and see. I want you guys' take, because this is a 2-part question. Would you rather see the Jey Uso win the IC title off of Baby? Let's just say Babyface takes off Sami within the next month and a half or so. Jey Uso takes the IC title off, and it's mid-card IC within the same faction as Roman? Or would you rather see Jimmy come back and they win the tag titles, and then you have like a little Street Profits thing going? Because I'm actually getting the idea that a really good storyline would be the Usos, who already have a long rivalry with the New Day, but now 2/3 of the New Day are on Raw. So Big E's on his own. Obviously, they're not, because he could just show up at a big pay-per-view and help them out if they want. Or technically, who gives a fuck about brands at this point? They could just show up whenever they want. But I think it would be a really cool story for Big E versus the Usos kind of going up and then eventually getting to Roman Reigns. But the thing is, he's outnumbered this time.
The storytelling itself, just because of the history between them, I think would be great. I could see where he probably would enlist maybe, and it sounds weird, but based on what we just saw, maybe the help of Kevin Owens to help out with the numbers a little bit. But, they don't necessarily have to tag, but it's just, a brother in arms while he's trying to get to the top. Because we've seen that before where maybe a guy had a shot, but then there's another guy that comes in and they're like, yo, common enemy, I'll do what I can to set the screen where you can go to the hole pretty much,
Right.
So In that in that respect, especially with it someone like Kevin Owens, who now I'm thinking about it, never mind, because before Kevin Owens was like super respectful about Kofi and him winning, and then all of a sudden he turned fucking heel. So I was gonna say there was that. I was like, no, that was storyline.
What I really love about this Roman Reigns thing right now, and I don't know how long they could keep it going, but I'm in love with it, is the fact that we could give two fucks about who's going to face the TLC in terms of Roman Reigns. What we really enjoy is the dynamic between him and Jey Uso.
Him and Jey, yep.
And the fact that Roman Reigns, in my opinion, has not, outside of Jey Uso, has not had a contender for the championship in the last month or so. But we're still drawn to SmackDown every week to see what Roman Reigns is going to do.
No, you're right, because usually it's the chase, right? We always talk about the chase, and that whole rivalry that kind of leads you to want to watch like who's the next in line. But yeah, you're right. This is the first time that we got a real definitive look at who's going to be next, so to speak, for Roman. But to answer your question earlier, I don't know. I could also see. I think I'd like to see Jey Uso win the IC title. I could see him doing that if it was like, say, Sami versus Daniel versus Jey in a triple threat, just based on what happened on SmackDown. That way you don't have to wait for Sami to turn babyface for Jey to win it. You could just have him win it. Even make it a 4-pack, put Big E in there. You know what I mean?
Right. I think Big E's going for the title next, man. I think Big E's going for the title next, and I think that
I believe so too.
Tag division, because Jimmy's coming back in a couple weeks.
Is he okay? That's the only thing I was worried about, was how they were going to introduce him. If they were to bring back the Usos, is it going to be like a power struggle for Jey, like him trying to listen to his brother, but then like kind of like what happened on Survivor Series, where he's like, "Let's go, Uso." He's like, "No, go find your brother and leave." You know what I mean? Yeah. Or is it going to be more like Jimmy already having an understanding of how things work based on what happened on Hell in a Cell? Is it going to be a more easy transition? It's not going to be like, okay, so are they with Roman or not? Like, no, they're with Roman. They're just now going back to being heels. You know what I mean? So
let me ask you guys another question.
My bad. I just want to say, for them to go back to being like the first line of defense before you get the Roman, that's what I'd like to see. Yeah, but not fall guys, not J&J security, like actual guys you got to get through, which would help someone like a Big E, like you were saying earlier, before he would get to Roman. But yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Well, which is dope is because Jey Uso is actually doing really well. Like, yeah, he gets a lot of DQ finishes and stuff like that, but he's legitimately in the main event fighting off people.
They're already calling him
to Roman. Yeah.
Main event.
Man, main event Jey. I was like, who called him that? I was like, I guess that's new. I'm like, but then again, when you look back,
main event to the last 4 SmackDowns.
I was about to say he's been main event the last 4 SmackDowns, which is another layer that Roman could use against him. Like, before me, you were main event.
100%.
Like, so yeah.
If I'm being real with you guys, if they can't get The Rock at WrestleMania, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns again for the title at Mania. Like, if Jey Uso won the Elimination Chamber.
I feel like this.
I love my Oogs, but you can't go from The Rock to Jey Uso.
Look. But you know what? This is how they'd have to do it. JBL storyline with Shawn Michaels, where he was his indentured servant because he supposedly, I don't know if you remember that storyline.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where he was like, Shawn was in bad money trouble and all that stuff. But they can use the same. So there was this whole thing where JBL, I forgot how they set it up, but Shawn Michaels was doing the bidding of JBL, but every time they would ask him about it, he wouldn't speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up happening is he finally, enough was enough. And they ended up having a match, like a blow-off match, to finally get over everything. And the whole story was like, JBL, him being like the Texas tycoon money guy, Shawn was in bad money trouble, so he helped him out, save his house, save like his family, whatever the fuck. And so he was like forever in debt to him. And then, so I can see if they built it up, say if like Jey and Roman don't have a match up until that Mania, they could totally stretch out that interest. Especially when it showed. I mean, like, a perfect example was what just happened last night, where you had Jey happy to introduce his cousin because he got that hug of acceptance at Survivor Series, only to get dressed down again,
right?
For what he thought he was doing the right thing. So it's like I could see more of that taking a toll. I mean, because we see it. It leaves him in the ring, and then he pretty much takes out his frustrations on everybody else. So I can see that if they can't get The Rock, I definitely could see how they can work that towards being. I mean, I couldn't tell you it would be the main event of that WrestleMania. It wouldn't. I don't know if that'll be the last match of the night.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee if the way that they played it the first time and the fact that they didn't know how people were going to react, and then versus now where they have a lot of time to make it really good, they can make it good.
I mean, that's what happened with the Kofi situation too.
But you're right. I mean, I would rather see Dwayne. You're right. You know.
Well, let me put
at least at Mania, at least play like a part.
Yeah.
At least play a part in the story, because that would be his involvement would be really important for everyone involved. You know what I mean?
For the storyline too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It depends if
I'm the fucking man of the whole planet, dude.
He's like my daddy created the table. You know what I mean? Like he can go so many different ways with that, and still have just a tease, and it would get people to tune in. You know what I mean? Like, and I think the only reason why it'd be cool is because you've seen The Rock publicly endorse Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, but you've never seen The Rock with the Usos. You know what I mean?
I think.
But do you think Roman needs to drop the title before he faces The Rock?
The Rock. I don't see The Rock winning.
How many? You think The Rock does the business, does the job, and he puts over Roman Reigns?
I don't know if at that point in time, if this is how great we're getting Roman now, versus in a couple months from now by Mania, he possibly won't even need the win because he'll be such a great heel.
Yeah.
But I also don't see The Rock winning the Universal title and then having to win, having to come back for another pay-per-view. You could just drop it. You know what I mean?
The Miz could cash in on
WrestleMania. Vince McMahon.
Oh shit! Well, can he? Because I mean, like the Universal title is actually part of SmackDown.
So when I was watching Survivor,
because I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Michael Cole or whoever the fuck said both challengers should keep their head because of this.
I was wondering about that because I was like, technically the original contract was a SmackDown superstar, so it would be challenging for the Universal title. But then, if it's now on Miz, who's now a Raw guy, that's why I was wondering if I was like, is it still open to whatever? Because back in the day, you'd be able to challenge. It would be on you. But
let's put our foil caps on though. Who thinks the contract is still in?
A lot of people are
not in the briefcase, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people think so just because you've never seen Miz physically with the contract in his hand, and then Otis.
Imagine he just never opened the briefcase.
That's what I'm saying though. But it's weird because every other attempt that they had to steal it, they opened it, and that's how they found that the contract wasn't in. Now that they actually have it in a match, it's like we haven't really seen him. Like, but then again, how much of an idiot would it make Miz look like if he had it for this long and never looked inside?
Right.
I mean, it was almost as bad as when Brock won it and he didn't know he had a whole year.
Yeah.
And he was like fucking peppering Paul Heyman with the pieces of paper. It was like,
but getting back to Jey is I'm wondering like how like. Is there legs to this? Because this could probably go on for another year. This could go on for several months, even after Mania, if it's that good.
As long as they don't put too much. Like if they put too much, then it could become a little bit too long. But I think because they've been doing it piece by piece, that's why I think the longevity of it has been great.
Because I feel like you could already see Jey getting a little bit frustrated. So like, imagine if he, because you could make the case if you were to rank who are, in my opinion, the hottest wrestlers right now in wrestling. Jey Uso might be in the top 5 in terms of the WWE. I said wrestling WWE.
No,
so
I mean,
it's not out of the realm that he could win a Royal Rumble and we wouldn't be like, fuck, Jey Uso won that? No, he could win the Royal Rumble this year and we could be like, oh, yeah, that makes kind of sense. So imagine he wins the Rumble and
they let Otis win the Money in the Bank, so I don't see it getting stranger than that. Yeah.
Imagine he wins the Royal Rumble. Roman's telling him, "Hey, let's bring back the WWE Championship to the table as well. Like you're gonna go after you're gonna go after Drew.
Yeah, trying to groom him like kind of like Triple H and Batista. Like how, I can see that.
And then Roman's like. And then Roman beats the shit out, not just Jey. He beats the shit out of Jimmy on the road to WrestleMania. And then Jey says, "Fuck it, no." He super kicks Roman, says, "I'm going for your title at Mania." Right there. If Dwayne doesn't come back, that's a good build to WrestleMania.
And we could even have it where he didn't really beat up Jimmy. We just found Jimmy beat up, and then all of a sudden where we think that Jimmy's not on his side either, and then he could screw Roman in the match and help his brother win. Yeah. Kind of a a blowing a kiss back to when he pretty much put him in the guillotine. Kind of pay and give him that receipt. I can see that. I mean, but then again, would okay, now we're talking about Jey winning the championship at WrestleMania. Would that even happen?
If Kofi can win a championship a couple years ago, being in a faction tag team situation, the Usos could do the same thing.
You can't fulfill Kofi's championship.
Okay, I got you. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. What about
of racism behind it, man?
What about Leon Ruff? If Leon Ruff can win the championship, right?
The North American title is not.
hey, I feel that, but what I'm saying is like they letting people win.
Yeah,
they letting people win over here.
This is the time when we're still flirting with having fans or not having fans. And imagine if there was fans in Tampa Bay for Jey Uso to beat Roman for that.
Listen, we all beat up WWE.
He's the ultimate underdog guy.
But the fact that there's not fans yet, it's crazy because you guys watch a Bucks game. There's 20,000 people in the stands, man. It's unbelievable, dude.
Right.
No,
they're playing the same exact state. They're playing down the street for them.
But the other thing that's weird about that is like because they're down the street, why couldn't we get and I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but the whole Undertaker farewell thing, I felt like, dude, like he deserved to do this in front of a crowd, right?
Yeah, I was waiting for a storyline to hit.
Dude, well, check me, dude, because I was like, there's like 17 people out here, and they're all next to each other.
He's like, yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, who wants to play? Who wants to play? Who gets COVID first? Like, bro, like, and then all of a sudden, his music hits, and there's no one in the ring. I'm like, please don't tell me they got all these people huddled up next to each other outside the ring.
Outside.
Like, but I was thinking, I'm like, because that's what I did. I'm like, why even invite these people out if they're not even going to talk? He's not going to talk. It's not, the crowd's not there, so it's not for a pop. Like, I don't understand. It just was super weird. And then on top of that, they got the piped in "Thank you, Taker." And I'm like, no, bro, you deserve better than this.
I do believe.
And
Mark Calloway went up to Vince.
Taker's a non-masker. Taker doesn't believe in the masks. He thinks blue life matters and that he doesn't have to wear a mask.
I don't know. Like I said, bro, he got that murder was the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe he's turning over a new leaf, bro. He's turning over a new leaf.
Money in the last couple decades that he might be a little bit more conservative when it comes to his politics now.
Well. I mean, when did you see that live he had with Snoop?
I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it.
So because they were saying like
between us, I've seen too much of Taker the last month on every single vlog and
I'll tell you this: if you just would have watched the stuff they put on the network, you would have been cool. But he's been super overexposed this whole couple months. But he had said that he did that collab with Snoop, saying, "Oh yeah, this has the." What do you say? Like the potential to help stop racism. I'm like, how?
Imagine racism itself.
It's like, oh shit, huh? All we needed to do was to do a collab, and now all of a sudden,
was a couple T-shirts. That's all.
And I'm like, oh, because we're gonna get like all the racists in the world, like, oh shit, Snoop and Undertaker. Man, why did I think of this?
All the Proud Boys are like, oh, man, what we're doing is wrong. Now that
but doesn't it Blue Lives Matter mean something different now? He got like the head of all Crips doing a collab, so he got a different Blue Lives going. Mr. 187 on a cop. I mean, I think his message is a little bit mixed up now. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vince wanted to wait for fans and Mark Calloway was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just knock this out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to come back for anything.
How about Taker's is in People magazine, dude? What's going on this?
Bro, like Taker's on People magazine. He has he just did his first TikTok.
Yeah.
Like this guy. I mean, hey, by the way, let's do a fundraiser and get Undertaker to do a cameo for us. $1,000, bro.
Yeah, I'm down.
All we gotta do. All we got to do is wait for Young Baca to throw another tenfold championship, jump the winner, take half, you know what I mean? And then just put up 1,000. And then
I bet you Baca right now said, hey, we're trying to get a cameo for our podcast. If people are willing to get YBP tattooed on them, they're also willing to give us some money for Undertaker cameo.
21 people got YBP tattooed.
And then he comes back
this Thursday, man.
He's like, hold on.
50 people by the end of this year, man. So
I think he'll do it. But then Undertaker's gonna be like, nah, let's change that to if they get a BSK tattoo, I'll do it. I'll do it like that.
Speaking of TikTok, you should see me at Thanksgiving with my cousin, who's 21, trying to explain to me how TikTok works, and she called me a boomer. I've never felt more old in my life, and she's like, no.
So no lie, like TikTok's been around. It just all of a sudden got popular, bro. Like, there's a video editor like maker I use called InShot. A lot of people use it, but while you would export whatever video you'd be done with, it would always play this paid ad from TikTok. And that's been like 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I was just like, all right, whatever. I guess it's the same really for me. It's for people to have time. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, send a text message, and then you got a bunch of lightning in the background of your, you know, it's just a bunch of shit. I'm like, all right, it's a little extra for me, but I can see why people would like to do this. It's a little creative. Fast forward to now, everyone's on that shit, doing something totally different. Like, because it wasn't always like one of those, hey, look what I could do type things. It was just like a, hey, look all these cool effects I can put in the video. But now, yeah, that's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like, I mean, again, when you got the Undertaker doing one, it's like, first of all, the Undertaker on social media is weird.
With this too. Right? I think
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think when you think about it,
in People magazine, Undertaker's wife. I think, you know.
I think they saw, I think what it was, to be honest, is they saw how he was being a little bit open with him and his family life during that documentary.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of clued people in, like, oh, maybe we can get an actual like interview. This guy's like they say, arguably the best character in the last 30 years. Like, this guy's a polarizing guy. A lot of people don't know this much. They only know this side about him, not this side. So, but it is weird. It's weird, bro. Like, I mean, I just watched he just did what they call the One More Round with Stone Cold Steve Austin, because he had like another 2 hours of stories to tell. And like,
whenever, man.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are sitting there just taking shots of Jack Daniels, bro, just letting it go, you know. So, real interesting. But again, it's like one of those things where I'm like, bro, 10 years ago, I would have never seen Undertaker in regular gear, not with the voice, like no makeup on, talking about the business as if, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he is not the most attractive looking dude either.
And he's
you know what I mean?
He's not the best dressed guy either, right? Doesn't he have like a long leather jacket?
Leather jacket, bandana. You know what I mean? That's
the episode we need. Fashion Police with the Undertaker. That's what it's all about, man.
See,
Blue lives matter.
You got Brian with the Fashion Police shirt on with the Fandango. So there you go.
Listen, you guys saw that picture of Undertaker for People magazine? He had all those pancakes. There's no way Undertaker cooked all those pancakes. And they were all perfectly shaped, and they went from big to small. There's no way that Taker did that.
Why? Did you expect him to be like the Undertaker emblem?
I'm saying because the guy hasn't been home. The guy hasn't been home in 25 years. He's been eating.
I mean,
he's been home a lot. I feel like.
I was about to say, like I mean, I was like the last 5 or 10 WrestleManias, he's been at home waiting for April. So like,
yeah, working on his pancakes after the first couple weeks after Mania.
Hey, Big E, you need to try these pancakes.
You need to try these pancakes, fam.
Hey, what about New Day getting the Killers of War characters in Killers of War? Man, that's amazing.
I mean, I'm not so big on the game.
I don't play it.
So but cool. Yeah, I think it's because I think the other person before them was what, Batista that got the and I think it was the same game. So I mean, obviously it's in the same realm of what Xavier Woods does. I mean, we've talked about this before with the Zelina Vega thing. Which, oh, dude, by the way, did you guys read that Vince like denied? Like she like requested to try to speak to him just to say bye, and he like totally rejected it. Didn't want to. And like
IPP tat is
so what do you guys?
Bro, furthermore, she got escorted from the building.
But who's saying this? Zelina Vega saying this?
Her and of course the people who pretty much fill up who gets paid to fill up the dirt sheets at work backstage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aleister Black, how many years is left on his contract?
I don't know.
I mean, he better enjoy main event.
Well, bro, I think he should just keep his head down, write it out, leave, and then go somewhere else.
I mean,
where you gonna go, baby?
AEW,
I mean,
dude,
go ahead.
Yeah,
you can't sign everybody. You can't sign everybody.
No, but they would definitely sign Aleister Black if they had a chance. I mean, him because look, like him and Zelina both left, and if she was gonna manage him, I could see already like him versus Kip Sabian and Penelope, right? Just to start with, like that. That's not bad.
Well, start with Cody and Brandy if you want.
Yeah, that could be another one too. I mean, I don't know. It would be dope though. It definitely would be dope to so you're
right?
like well, you already know if they were to do that, then you would already know what they see in Alistair if they're going to have him go against Cody first.
Yeah.
I mean that's usually like an indicator of what ceiling that they're putting on somebody, based on their first feud or first opponent.
Because even if you don't like Alistair
Zack
Black,
Ryder, right? Kind of how Zack Ryder was teamed up with Cody.
Well, Zack Ryder only got he didn't sign. He made sure he only did like a 5 appearance deal. Mm-hmm. So that was it. That's why we don't see him no more. So,
but even if you don't like Alistair Black or you don't think Alistair Black is a main event guy, he has a main event finisher, and that the Black Mass will get over itself, in my opinion. And you just throw him on AEW Black Mass.
Go to number 10.
Yeah, huh?
I mean, he put him in Dark Order.
Hey man, Sean Spears.
Yeah,
Sean Spears is a legend, man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he had a great 2 months. I really enjoyed
it.
What
do you mean? What do you mean? You missed his match with Scorpio Sky?
Yeah, I missed that one. I'm sorry about that. I got a better job.
Speaking of legends,
the guy who talks diversity and he passed on the match with the Canadian and the black guy. Oh man,
right. Baca's
I see you, Baca.
But speaking of legends, I am now your retaining.
Yep.
$2 champion.
2-time $2 champion.
You officially now owe me $2, Baca. Unless we're just gonna keep running the tabs and try to make them even. That's fine with me.
What about a tattoo? How about a YPP tattoo? You're usually free, but I'll give you $2 for it.
I'm okay.
All right, man. All right, you say it, but we're up to 21 people so far.
He's trying to get you to be number 22 so he can get closer to that 50 count. You know what I mean?
I'm okay.
I like your business acumen.
What was the final count?
It was 17 to 16 to 16.
Wow.
Yeah, me and you tied.
I thought it was 16, 16, 16. But
what was the match that put you over, Brian?
Technically it was against you. Technically it was the Bobby Lashley, and you chose Sami Zayn.
Yeah. I should have gone my
And against Kwency, technically, it was.
Well, I was the only one that picked Asuka, so I think that was a turning point for me too.
Yeah, it was me choosing Sasha over Asuka for him. So
good for Bobby Lashley, man. I should have gone my black brother, but I'm a little conflicted on Bobby. You know what I'm saying?
Sammy's a little bit more,
Yeah, I think Sammy's more on my side of the.
No lie. Like I think I want Bobby to be able to cut a promo by himself.
Yeah, I don't think that's. He's 50. He's not going to happen.
It's great because like if you watch some of the stuff he started doing in Impact, he actually was doing pretty well. Like he started.
It's easy to do well when no one's watching.
Well, yeah, but
no one's watching Raw either.
But what I'm saying is like he had a different persona. Like he started coming off a little bit like The Rock.
Yeah.
And it was really working for him. And then they brought, that's why when a lot of people saw that he got brought back to WWE with the headband and everything, they thought that was the version they were going to get. And he's just, fighting.
What was it? It wasn't the Apocalypse, but what was his Impact thing?
He was like the Destroyer. Remember they kept on.
It was like a world-ending thing plus Bobby Lashley's name. I forgot. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, War Games is coming up. I have something to say about War Games. In my opinion, it is, even though they put on some of the better pay-per-views of the year, the War Games ones, in my opinion, they are the most meaningless, though, also in terms of the NXT pay-per-views.
I agree. Because, well, it's almost like it's their version of Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There isn't a whole lot of like follow-up on some of the stuff that happens. There's nothing at stake besides saying, hey, we won it this year and the year before that. You would think with that much anarchy and chaos in the match there'd be at least something on the line, like maybe each if there it's different this year because you got the tag champs in there, but if say like 4 guys went in there and they all want a shot at a respective championship down the line or something like that, I could see that. Because it's not elimination, right? It's just the first person to pin.
No, it usually is elimination, right?
No, I think it's just first one pinned.
I know they gotta wait till everyone.
Everyone has to come into the room.
Yeah, everybody has to. Yeah.
You're right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it seems like it's just it's their version also of like the Hell in a Cell mixed with the TLC match, just because it's the spot fest for them.
They had to put those tag titles on the line for me to give a shit.
Yeah,
Like,
it has
I'll
to be
watch
something,
it,
right?
but I don't give a shit. like
Like
it's kind of cool that the Undisputed Era has been in it every year, though.
Yeah,
That is kind of cool.
that part.
Like in year 2, but I kind of dig it now.
Yeah, I don't mind them being in it, especially with the the angle that they're having them come. You know, what I loved is how they showed last week on NXT that, obviously it's going to break down the War Games, but we didn't get the official announcement on TV, which is why I'm glad that they filmed it after the fact and like put it up. But you saw like Adam Cole, please say it. I want you to say it, Regal. Please say the War Games. And I was like, okay, they're actually hyped to go to war. You know what I mean? I'm like that I actually like, but and Baca's going to say something here. I can't believe that Pat McAfee's second match ever in professional wrestling is in a fucking War Games match.
I'm sorry, you
mean smoking mirrors, man.
Pat, main event Pat? I'm sorry.
Main you talking about Mr. I mean, we've been running things for the past two
pay-per-views, baby. 2 pay-per-views. That's all I know.
Did they? I mean, to me, running things would have been like they were all over the card, which none of them were.
Every time Pat Lessers is in the main event, right?
He's only been in the main event once,
and it's going to be a second time.
Will he be in the main event?
And it's going to be the second time he wrestled. Yeah.
Well, we don't know if it's gonna main event.
What's going to main event if that doesn't main event?
I mean, there's still the World Championship, right?
I think the.
Oh, do you think Finn's gonna be able to go?
I mean, I would think it's been 2 months since he's wrestled. I mean, technically in wrestling terms,
they're going to follow up the War Games.
In wrestling,
who's gonna step?
I don't know. Because the only he was gonna say something and then he got stepped to from Pat McAfee. But all I'm saying is it's been like technically after the 30 days he's supposed to be giving up the title.
Come on, this is wrestling, man. You know.
Yeah. No, I get it because obviously that would have been the case for Brock Lesnar a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like they need a championship match with Finn because he's been out almost 2 months.
Yeah, but
already.
Would you guys rather have him rush a story now, or
I'd rather wait.
Have like a triple threat or a singles match, first match of the card of the night, and then that winner gets Balor at the end?
I don't know because the only thing is who would it be? Because the only other person I could see it being is possibly Killer Cross, but I think Ciampa's going to be doing something with Timothy Thatcher because they keep teasing that.
You're right. I'm trying to think people off the top of my head who are main event guys.
They could push Kushida.
That would be kind of cool. Just let him have a showcase match.
Like him, maybe another person. Like I mean, it can't be Kyle again. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was him and Pete Dunne, but he's in the freaking War Games match.
How would you feel though if they did the War Games match, the very first match of the night?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Match gets Finn Balor at the end of the night. Or at least Finn Balor the next Wednesday on NXT.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it might be. I mean, shit. If I'm like one of those guys, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing like a suplex off the top onto like everybody, right?
And then you put the match hurt, and then when you lose the Balor, you're kind of protected.
That's true. But see,
Pete Dunne versus Balor at the end, or. You know what would be really cool, though, too, going forward with War Games going on in the future is if you do keep undisputed people on NXT, which is say you keep like Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong or something while Kyle or Adam Cole move up. It'd be really cool if they book this match again next year and then Adam Cole or whoever from the main roster comes back down just to do this match. So they keep the undisputed era going in the War Games match.
It's funny you say that because I was in myself like fantasy booking. I'm like, that would be cool if they did like a NXT New Guard versus NXT Old Guard type of thing for Warzone or for War Games. Like if they had like say if it's undisputed or whoever it is in a couple years from now, and then say like they'd have to bring back like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke possibly, maybe even Bobby Roode in there. Depending on like Drew. Guys,
just to have like what's the best era of NXT?
I think that'd be kind of cool. Like just like the old guard versus. I mean, it could be Finn plus a couple of guys because Finn's part of that old guard too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe like Finn and Kevin Owens. Guys he knows that him and Shinsuke for sure could link up. Him and Samoa Joe because they have a pass with the tag team, the Dusty Classic.
Because I have no idea what Triple H has been doing backstage to be able to keep Undisputed Era on NXT this long.
He probably sacrificed everyone else to keep
He's
them.
just like,
here,
take
to
care
be
of everybody
honest.
else. I'll make it work with these four, and I'll
Especially
like
when they
this.
don't have tag teams, right? You would think that they would want those guys because they don't have any tag teams.
because
We'll
you
bring
can
those
kind
guys
of
What do you
split
mean?
them up
Bro,
to make them into two.
Bro, they got
different tag teams.
Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. What are you talking about? And
No, I'm saying,
Everrise? Oh my
no,
goodness.
the main event doesn't have tag teams. The main roster doesn't
Oh,
have
the
tag
main event. Yeah, you know,
teams.
yeah.
Main
You're,
roster doesn't have tag teams. So you would think my boy Vinnie Mac would say, I'll take those two skinny guys right there. And I'm just like, no, not those guys.
do you think they're gonna make Keith Lee and Matt Riddle?
I
tag
kind of
team?
do. I kind of want him to at this stage. Fuck it.
I want
Like,
Keith Lee to be heavyweight champion. I don't want him to be in a tag team.
No,
yeah,
because-
but that's not going to
Well,
happen anytime soon. So
why
might as
not?
well just let them do their thing.
Who else?
I
would
mean,
fight for that?
like I
Drew
said,
McIntyre?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
but
like-
Drew McIntyre is champion. Who else is going to fight for that?
No, but but you're saying you want him to be heavyweight champion. He's not going to win anytime soon. So might as well just
In the
let him
next
be in a
6
tag
months,
team.
you don't think he's going to win?
Keith Lee.
The world title in 6 months.
Yeah,
and
you don't think so?
keep WrestleMania
No.
4 months of that.
Yeah. I can see him
Yeah.
winning. I can see him winning after
Black
Mania.
champion for Mania. Not again, Hunter.
It's like,
That's some
why,
tactic.
man, why you make him sound like what's his name from the Clippers? Fucking
Don Stone.
yeah. Like, can you not bring these black champions to my shows?
No,
Hunter?
he said you could fuck them, just don't sit with them. That's all.
Like, can you just not sit with him?
He was talking about Magic.
Yeah.
A comedian has a joke. Is that I don't think you want your girlfriend to have sex with Magic Johnson, sir.
No. I mean, was it Dave Chappelle? Dave Chappelle's like, it's crazy because he didn't even mention him having HIV at all, which has been the first thing I would have said. I was like, God damn. Oh man. But you know, I got a question for you guys.
Go for it.
Taker, obviously he's bidded farewell. Seems like he's actually gone for real this time.
Hey, fool me 5 times. Shame on you.
No. Like, trust me, it's like one of those things where even Stone Cold asks, like, but when Vince comes calling, he's like, well, I mean, he says it's not that I don't want to do this. I definitely still have the passion for it. I just know that I'm physically limited to not do it the way that I would like to, or the way that they would see me like to. Which I thought that was cool that he can say that and accept it. But hearing
What's
that he
the
still has a
difference between one match though. Like,
Well,
just do a proper send off.
Well, I mean, I was thinking, I'm like, maybe him and the Fiend, but I'm not mad at what he's done right now. You know what I mean? This is to me, it's more indicative that he's done because of the fact that, like, to what Baca said, he's everywhere right now. We've never seen him this overexposed, this vulnerable. You know what I mean? As a human,
when the Saudi Prince says he wants to see Roman Reigns versus Undertaker.
Well, no, of course. You know what I mean? I mean, there's gonna be some money that he ain't gonna be able to turn down unless it's
That's
Michelle
why bald-headed
McCool.
Shawn Michaels came
The
out.
thing is, though,
Bro,
him and the Fiend
which
could have a
still breaks my heart. We never talk about that. But
him and the Fiend could have a clunky ass match though. Like, if they,
but if it's I was gonna say if it's a cinematic joint, I can see them. Like, but there's only two people I see that he would do that for. One being the Fiend, and the other one, which is probably the least possible and least likely, is him and Sting. But that's the only way I would love to see those two mix it up at this point. I don't want to see those two in the match. It's too far past.
Would I tune in?
Loser has to hang up the boots forever, and I don't know. But
that would be a great WrestleMania match, right? Loser has to retire, and they just both retire. Fuck it.
They just both. Yeah, I mean, like,
count out.
but yeah, like fuck it. Like, well, this is the best way to go, old friend. But what I was gonna ask is hearing that he still has a passion for it, and this is me being selfish as a fan. I wouldn't be mad if, say, we get Taker coming back a couple of years from now to manage somebody. I mean, can you guys see something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised. The person doesn't even need to be like a dark, mysterious guy either. He could just be like some big
Otis.
tall, like I was gonna say, like an Americanish dude would
Otis
actually also
again,
fit the
shit.
gimmick, you
Fuck
know.
that.
But are we sitting here saying that the person has to fit Undertaker's gimmick, or should the Undertaker fit the other person's gimmick? Because I think to put the other person over, the Undertaker needs to fit the other person's gimmick.
No,
I mean, I could see. I mean, if it was Alistair, I could see him.
No,
Alistair,
I ain't gonna be here. I ain't gonna be here.
He's like, tell your girlfriend to stop trying to make you famous.
Yeah.
But there's OnlyFans and shit. No, but current conspiracies and fucking controversies aside, like, I don't know who. I mean, what? Like, maybe Dexter Lumis? Like, I mean,
come on,
I could even
be realistic about it.
Damian
Priest would be good. I mean, even though he's already getting
you gotta stop partying, boy.
He's like, I'm gonna take it to wrestling's court, boy. Like, obviously he's been getting a lot of mentorship from Scott Hall. You could tell, but I wouldn't. I mean, someone like him. I wouldn't be mad. I mean,
I also wouldn't mind if I know a lot of people hate this idea, but like if he came back and he was like what kind of like what Stone Cold was when he was like assistant GM or something like that, just being
as long
like
as as long as he doesn't have like a paper badge, we're all good, right? Like,
yeah, like he's just like, to be honest, he's kind of like he's just an old man who doesn't want to be bothered backstage, but people keep bugging him trying to get title opportunities, and he just gets upset, and then eventually he chokeslams some people. You know, just it's like that's what he does.
They asked him about that. They're like, because again, he was talking about not feeling like he's physically at that point to give it an actual 100% effort in the ring. And then he said that people were like, yeah, but I mean, all they got to do is hit the gong and you just walk out and hit a choke slam and that's good. But he was like, he basically said like, but that's not my style. Like, yeah, I could do that, but that's not what I'm going to be doing. Like, right. I'm not going to. And I'm like, well, that's, I mean, you say that now, but watch, you're going to come back one day. You're going to be sitting back watching the show. You're going to get itchy. You're going to want to, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he says that now, but if he ever gets offered, he'd do it, right?
I also wouldn't be surprised if they're just doing this right now to get the fans to believe he's legitimately gone, and then when we get fans back, like so, like we'll just like, hey, Undertaker's retired until we get fans back, and then once we get fans back, the WrestleMania after that, you're gonna have your proper send off. I can see
if they did that, that would be great. I mean, they're kind of doing the same thing with Brock by taking the he's not even under contract, but they're like, why would we even pay to keep you under contract if no one's gonna be there to see you,
which nobody wants to see Brock right now anyway. So
no, I think it's, I mean, like, yeah, if we've been getting, if Brock was still here, maybe if there was like a triangle between Drew, Randy, and Brock, it might have been interesting, but not for this long. You know what I mean?
No, especially without Paul.
Yeah, exactly. With him being on SmackDown, it wouldn't be it would have been a little bit different, but
which I can still see him possibly doing Brock versus Roman with Paul kind of being in the middle of the two.
Yeah, put him in the shark cage.
But I honestly don't like. I get Brock's appeal because you're kind of always drawn to like who could actually beat this guy, but at the same time, I don't give a shit. Like I don't want to see Brock Lesnar. Wrestling's been a lot better knowing that other.
I love Brock Lesnar, man.
Given these,
but no one's saying that they don't like him. It's just you can't help but admit that he's great he moves the needle, but then when it's him doing the same thing for 4 months in a row, you're like, okay,
like you can't really put him in the mid card, right? Like he has to be main event.
He has to be going for
the only time he looked like he took a step down was when when he was in the Money in the Bank match. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I can see him. It's either he has a program for the championship or a program with somebody that doesn't have a championship, but I don't see him working for the IC, the Universal, or the United States. Which would be
interesting. Like if there was someone interesting enough at the IC level, like
maybe him and Keith Lee.
Yeah, like if Keith Lee won the United States title, and all of a sudden Brock Lesnar's getting tired of hearing about that there's this new big guy in town or whatever.
And he showed some respect to Keith Lee in the Royal Rumble too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So I don't know. I can see. Yeah, the thing is, it's not about Brock. It's more as I love Brock, the character. It's just I don't think whenever the WWE sees Brock on TV, they double down on him for like 8 months, and I just don't want to see that because he's only around for like 6 dates in that 8 months. So I just
you're right.
As long as he's not holding any titles hostage, I would love to see Brock. But
yeah, I think it's the fact. The fans would like to see it if he's not holding the title hostage, and if he's actually doing something else outside of like the focus of the title, because he don't need the wins. You know what I mean? He doesn't need the. Yeah, he don't need the championship wins right now. Like he's solid.
He's a 40-something-year-old dude, and to be honest, I would love to see. I'm not saying that you'd make Brock more of a comedic character, but there's a lot that you could do with Brock that would be interesting and fun. Like, why don't you put him in a scenario where since Paul is on SmackDown with Roman, Brock comes back and he's kind of like the muscle in a faction, or he's he's in a tag team, or he's going for some of these mid-card titles, or he's doing a program of R-Truth or whatever. Like all these small little fun things you could, because you've already done the main event stuff too much. Like give him something fun to do, and I think he would genuinely enjoy it. Like the only thing is, like,
at this point in his career,
you don't want to take the scariness from Brock away. I get that, so you got to do it smart. But like, there's stuff you could do.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, because look, they had Braun Strowman fucking doing shit with Elias and playing a fucking cello and all this comedic shit. You know what I mean? That kind of ruined a lot of the shit that they built him up on. So
Braun Strowman got ruined, man.
Like honestly, the biggest, like, I feel like it can't be anything lower, like, as far as the comedic level from, like, the most vulnerable we saw him was when he was doing the Brock Box thing after winning the Money in the Bank, right? Like, I could see him, I mean, because, like, 2004, 2005, 2006 maybe, when he split with Paul Heyman and he actually turned face and he was fighting against Paul Heyman, who had aligned himself with Big Show. He was still doing pretty good. You know what I mean? When he was on his own, he was getting some pretty good fan reactions and stuff like that.
Well,
I don't know
stuff too. The Kurt Angle
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
They would see the most milk, stuff like that.
You could also do a storyline where Paul Heyman is more scared of Roman than he is of Brock.
I was gonna say, and one thing that would be interesting is, like, you could bring back Kurt Angle to manage Brock Lesnar, right?
You know, your current boyfriend and your ex-boyfriend, and they meet up, and you're like,
Brock Lesnar comes back, wins the Rumble, and he's gonna go after Roman, and then he's like, all right, Paul. He's like a soft punch on the arm, like, all right, let's do this. Yeah. And Paul's like, I don't know.
I actually got to be in this dressing room with Roman's name on it, and it's like he's like, I actually don't work for you right now.
He's my new guy now, and I didn't know you were coming back, et cetera, et cetera. And then and then Brock is like, and then you kind of feel bad for Brock because he's like, hey, my best friend is no longer working with.
He's like, I can't push you around anymore. Now it's just Roman. Like, nah, I can see that. I mean. I don't see. It's weird because I don't see Brock actually seeming that sad about it, but I could see him being more pissed off and, like, Heyman being in a rock and a hard place because he's like either a pissed off Brock or a pissed off Samoan. I'm not gonna win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then Brock Lesnar comes to the ring in a jumpsuit and he takes it down and he has a Young Baca production tattoo right there.
He's number 24.
Yep. He's number.
I'm laughing because I thought you were gonna say he had, like, a Young Baca production shirt on. And he's like, just Hulk Hogan rips it off and, like,
t-shirts over here.
I actually think it would be a really cool pop, and I wouldn't be surprised if they put some fans in Tampa Bay when they move the Thunderdome over there.
You got to do something.
Roman and Jey are having a segment, and all of a sudden you hear Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar comes back. Roman leaves the ring with Paul Heyman and leaves Jey Uso in there by himself. Jey Uso goes for the super kick, connects, but then Brock Lesnar no-sells it and just fucking German suplexes Jey Uso. And then Roman's trying to keep that face that he's not intimidated, but he's legitimately like, fuck.
Well, that's kind of what happened with Drew McIntyre, too. He kind of broke a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the promo he had with Drew at that contract signing was different than everything else that, like, he's done. Like, he came off a little comical. Like, you know, he was like, "You're the guy that they get when I'm too busy to do something." You know what I mean?
That's his thing.
No. But see, it's one thing for him to deliver it that way, but he was actually smiling a lot more than we're used to. So that's why I was kind of weirded out. I was like, "Nah, man, we don't need to see the horse teeth. Just keep it cool."
I do think that's part of his character a little bit, though. That's he's serious with Jey because he needs to keep Jey in line, but he also
keep him under his thumb. Yeah,
he's trying to respect Jey. That's why he's serious with Jey. But outside of that, with everybody else, he's kind of like, you guys are nobody.
Kind of just laughing at him. Yeah,
you know, like I'm on top. There's a reason I'm on top. You guys, you know, and I think we're gonna see a lot of that. Like, we might see some of that with Kevin Owens coming up. So
I can see that.
Kevin Owens like blah blah blah. This is this, and Roman Reigns is going to basically just do it like, hey, your career's nothing. You're just some Canadian dude who sucks.
Well, but you know, the one thing he can say is that he won the Universal title first, or what? Second, I guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
After
say he's the first legit Universal title.
because Finn got hurt when he won, and then he had to give it up the next night. But I don't know. Then he could be like, "Yeah, Triple H handed it to you." Whatever. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not. I'm excited to see where it goes with him and Kevin, because Kevin needs something new too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hate good guy Kevin. I like Kevin when he's bad guy. He's
trust me, dude. Like I like what. I'm not against the promos he's been doing. He's been pretty good, but yeah, there's just something about I mean, dude, he's Kevin Steen. You know what I mean? Like that Kevin Steen character. Like I would love to see that again for sure. That Killer Instinct, like, and not the chicken shit heel version of him that they did with the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see him actually like. I mean, like the stuff he was doing with Cena was great.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
You know what I mean? Like NXT champion Kevin Owens,
the mini feud he had with Balor before Balor won officially.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, and I don't know which. I just always feel like Kevin Owens is in that tight spot of always being traded from show to show, not really establishing where he's at.
That's why we should have the 5-year lockdown, right? The contract lockdown. Yes,
but I do think him and Sami have the best chemistry. I do think they have the most history. There needs to be tag teams anyways. As much as I love the Street Profits are not going to be good if they're the only ones holding the titles and going against the same people all the time. Like, I feel like they've only had a match against a different team in the last 6 months twice.
I agree. I think it was
okay.
Match they just had, and then somebody else. Yeah.
I think they just had their third one or something like. Yeah, it was Angel Garza and Andrade. Then it was.
Oh yeah, before they moved to SmackDown.
And then they had the New Day match, which I'm not going to count because that's just some Survivor Series shit. And then they've had the Ziggler and Rude thing since. So.
I think they also had. Didn't they have Miz and Morrison at one point? Possibly. I don't remember. They had that thing where it's like last night, everybody was like going against each other.
The Street Profits also had this thing with the Viking Raiders for a little bit, but I
forgot about the Viking match.
Yeah, but that seems like that was like a May thing or a June thing. That didn't seem like it was like within the last several months.
But it's all good, guys. We got Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. You know, Baca's favorite member of the.
I'm not gonna lie. I want him to just win and hold the titles. Like the New Day don't need him. Like just give
Cedric Alexander looking pretty good right now.
Right,
so, yeah.
That promo he cut on the New Day backstage.
Bad.
It was solid. And
it wasn't bad.
And the thing is, like,
out MVP. That's why.
I do think the Hurt Business is the glue holding Raw together. Yeah. While everything else is kind of.
By the way, you guys noticed that Retribution was like nowhere to be found on Raw.
They had a main event match, right, or something like that.
Yeah, they had they won main event. So was Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was on main event with Elias.
Yeah,
and then they just came out and beat up everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeff Hardy belongs on main event. To be honest, I mean, we talked about this last time. Like, bro, there's nothing else for you left for you to do. If you're not going to put people over, but even then, like if you put people over, I don't even know how much that rub is.
You know what I mean? I honestly think okay. I don't know if this is hot take anymore, but
how'd you say hot topic, Jeff? Hot
topic.
Got to go.
Hot topic is
Jeff
they called you back for a
Jeff
job
Hardy
interview.
might be. I know there's probably a few wrestlers that are a little bit more boring, but Jeff Hardy might be the most boring wrestler in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks because I used to be a big fan, but he's boring.
You know what? Yeah, no, it's not something when like even Sheamus is having some pretty good matches. And
Sheamus is looking good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. So and then it's like you know, freaking Jeff Hardy having a match with Matt Riddle, and it's like, eh. But then you got Sheamus, who you wouldn't think anything of having a match with Riddle. You're like, oh, that was a banger. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I don't know.
King Corbin's boring, even though I love his moveset.
Yeah,
King Corbin's boring. Yeah, so he's up. Elias is boring.
Elias has become boring, and I hate what they did with Elias.
Right.
They had a lot of promise.
They moved him to SmackDown, and they stopped making him do his heel. Like, even though it was repetitive at the time, doing the music thing and getting interrupted, it was solid heat every week.
Dude,
and they just stopped doing it.
I still remember him and Kevin Owens in Seattle. They got they got drowned out when they mentioned the Supersonics not being there anymore.
That was
great,
really heat, man.
That was awesome.
I love the Supersonics, man.
Like I can imagine Vince was probably laughing his ass off that night. Like this is good shit for real. You know what I mean? But speaking of which, dude, Vince looked really bad.
Dude, right? Did you do his eyebrows?
Dude, no, like okay. So I was at my brother's house. Shout to Doc Lesnar, and it's obviously with it being Undertaker's farewell, we were definitely tuning in. Him being Doc's favorite. Doc's wife was there, obviously, and she was like, "Yo, this dude got a lot of Botox done." I don't know what that looks. I don't know what that looks like off rip. You know, if she says it, I believe her. But yeah, he looked like
those eyebrows looked fresh, and the rest of them did not.
Bro, like the worst comment I've ever seen about it was they said, "Oh man, it looks like Undertaker's last job in WWE was to taxidermy Vince McMahon." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like,
well, the thing is, like, based on the fact that he gets like 3 hours of sleep a day,
that's what someone. Yeah, they were
you
saying
would
that like
think you would think his days are numbered, but he's still killing it.
he's
Like,
he's
gonna
still
outlive me.
still eating steaks and burritos and
Yeah.
waking up at 3. Like he's over here cutting a schedule like P Diddy.
Yeah.
Like trying to do the vote or die campaign. I don't know what this guy like. It's insane.
He slowed down a lot. My boy Vinnie Mac keeps on going, man. He's gonna outlive all of us.
I believe it. I'm sure he's gonna be like Walt Disney. He's gonna be forever like like we think he's dead, but he's like cryogenically frozen somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think Vince McMahon actually likes Jewish people though.
Does he?
Well, let's keep it down on the hot takes over here.
That's an extreme hot take.
Anti-Semite. There's no.
The only reason Bobby Lashley's getting this push right now, he's like, "Oh, wait, you're a Trumpy."
I don't know. He made Goldberg lose in the Elimination Chamber, so I don't know, man. I don't know. And that's like one of the biggest Jews you got.
Is it
on your roster?
Jewish?
Bill Goldberg. You're telling me Bill Goldberg is not Jewish?
I don't know. I guess it adds up. I guess the name adds up.
That. No, I never put two and two together.
But not to sound like a total like fucking asshole. Like no, he's Jewish for sure because he's appeared in like low budget movies as like a Jewish Santa Claus and shit. Like yeah, he's
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm a big Jewy kind of guy. I like being. He is Jewish. Oh man, I love Goldberg now. I'm so down that I love that he didn't put the Fiend over. Jews are great.
Jews are awesome.
I found out I'm Jewish. I'm like 25% Jewish on doing a DNA test. So
on 23andMe.
Ancestry. So
okay, there you go.
So me and Goldberg are basically Jewish.
Same
brothers.
body type and everything, dude.
You guys are cousins basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I gotta do that.
I thought the only WWE Jewish guy was did he go by Scotty Goldman?
Oh yeah, Coco Cabana. Yeah, Scotty Goldman. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that, dude.
Right.
Freaking
so we're gonna have guys. I appreciate you guys, man.
So we're gonna have Undertaker come back to manage Baca to a world championship. Got it.
I'm going to manage Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I would love. Like my whole life, I've just wanted to see behind the scenes stuff for Undertaker. But this last 2 months, I'm over it now, man. He's on everything.
I don't think it's over, man.
On YouTube.
Let me just recommend 2 things for you. That's WWE related and not like all this other mainstream shit that'll probably change your opinion on it. Go on the network and watch The Mortician, which is a small documentary about Paul Bearer, which is really good.
I would love to see that.
And then, but the thing is too that kind of gets you with that documentary about him. They filmed a lot of it while he was still alive, so he's talking about himself in character, and it's like it kind of gets you because after a while it reaches that point you're like, ah, shit, I forgot he's not here no more. Yeah. But they film it in such a good way. The other one that was really good was the sit down that Taker had with Kane, and they talk about their relationship. So that one was really good too. Them sharing stories about how he came to be, how it was supposed to be a one shot, and it turned out to be bigger than they thought, and how they kind of needed each other to coexist throughout the years. Because Undertaker character was getting stale. Not a lot of guys. Yeah. He's already beaten them all, and then Kane comes and they're able to have a whole recharge. So yeah, real interesting stuff. I mean, aside from the People Magazine stuff, the shit he's doing on TikTok, social media, I would definitely recommend if you're still trying to get that allure, that sense of mystique from the Deadmam. And again, he's pulling a little bit back in the curtain, but he does it his way. So I would check those 2 out for sure. I mean,
hey,
it is weird that Shawn Michaels didn't get this long of a press run when he retired, but I digress.
Can I interrupt with a fact I just found out?
Yes.
When he played for the Sacramento Surge, Bill Goldberg is a World Bowl champion. He's got a ring playing for let me see what the league was called. It was the World League of American Football / NFL Europe League.
Ah, good for him. That's dope.
And for the Sacramento Surge, he won a world title.
That's awesome, man. That's
So you're saying he's repping for Cali?
So you know how like it was really cool back in the day to get throwback jerseys and wear them. They get the Goldberg Sacramento Surge jersey. That's that hipster hood shit that I love.
That's like somebody walking around. Oh shit! Got my Pele. That's like walking around with like a Minnesota Vikings jersey with Lesnar on the back, even though he didn't make
6'9".
Oh, or like was it a Master P jersey with the who did he try out for?
Toronto Raptors, man. Master P.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you got to get that P Miller jersey on the Raptors, man. Got to get that young Baca Lakers jersey with the
100%. That John Cena Lakers jersey, man, number 54.
All right, last question. Look, I know you got to go. I just thought about this. Would you want to see John Cena be the one to come back to take on Roman Reigns right now?
No.
Yes.
Not right now, but I mean like the Roman Reigns character that he's doing right now?
Yes, I would. That'd be great.
For WrestleMania or just in general?
Yeah, I was going to say, how long down the line would you want to see
WrestleMania would be great. If we can't get my boy Dwayne, we should get Cena. That'd be great. And
I can see Dwayne.
Down like the last time.
So what Dwayne's going to be like, I can't be there, but I know somebody who can. And then it's like, enter John Cena. It's like, I got someone who's fast and just as furious. And then boom, then you always got to do the side promotion with the movies, you know what I mean? So there you go.
I would love for John Cena being the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam main event. I don't know if I
think that would be a good surprise.
WrestleMania. I feel like that's kind of just a throwaway. Even though technically The Rock would be a throwaway too, because we know he would win.
I mean, they did that with The Rock when he came back against the Wyatt family for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
at Mania. That was so weird.
That was stupid. Mm-hmm. It was the craziest WrestleMania match of all time.
Well, it was like that and then the Undertaker match with John Cena, right? Probably the same.
So technically, The Rock has won his last Mania match.
Yeah, John Cena lost his last Mania match, right? So,
that was stupid.
Twice his last two actually, because he went against the Fiend. So there you go. But
I don't know. One of my favorite matches of the year. And it was
we might have to do like a end of the year awards or something.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be dope. All this match of the year.
Especially when wrestling dies down and there's nothing much going on around the holidays.
Yeah.
It's pretty a lot of good wrestling matches happened this year, even though there wasn't a whole lot of fans, but still some good stuff. And no, I'm not going to pick an AEW match every category about there. I know what you're thinking.
Well, I do believe AEW has the best match of the year.
Which match is that? Really quick.
I was going to say
probably McMahon and Omega versus the Young Bucks at Revolution.
See, I was thinking that, but a lot of people would think that Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor would be better.
That was really good too.
There's a lot because there's some good contenders.
We might have to do an asterisk one where we say like without fans and with fans instead of doing an overall one, because
I mean
some of these matches were better with fans than without. Like imagine last year's Royal Rumble without fans.
Well, I mean,
no fans.
I mean, because like even Taker, they just interviewed him his top 5 matches he'd recommend, and he had like the quote unquote greatest wrestling match ever, Edge versus Randy Orton on there, and I was like,
yeah, well, he's Undertaker's a fucking idiot.
That's him being a company man.
I'm like, Undertaker. Yeah, he has a great mind for the business, huh?
He's not going to say Okada versus Omega.
You never know. He's like, well, I really enjoyed Orange Cassidy versus Pac. It really showed some psychology there. It was crazy.
This guy had might have been my favorite match of the year, but I don't know if that's the best one. I have to do some research.
You know, a lot of people, they were like, what was probably the best emotion or the most emotional moment this year? And someone was like, probably Edge at the Royal Rumble. But I was like, I don't know. I was like, Roman had some pretty emotional moments too.
Brock Lesnar eliminating the first 15 people, basically. Drew McIntyre finally eliminating him. Drew McIntyre surviving. Edge coming back. I do think the Royal Rumble might have. But the thing is,
this was a really good Rumble this year. Yeah,
it's hard.
They had
it's hard.
They had Kofi come back with the moment with Kofi, the moment with Keith Lee. Yeah, it was pretty. It was booked.
It's just difficult because like that match is built to give you those moments, whereas like. A regular singles match, you're not going to get an Edge return in the middle of it. You know what I mean? So like,
wouldn't that be all of a sudden
I gotta go, but I just got an email that says introducing the Undertaker net spend prepaid card. That's what I'm saying. This guy's out of control, man.
Bro,
Undertaker prepaid card now.
Hey, real quick before you go. Has Louie responded to you yet?
No, he hasn't even opened the message, and I call him too.
Right, because we're gonna still keep this going. We gotta figure out what's going on with that. I expected him to be on this show today. We would have been the first podcast basically get not the first.
You know what?
The
I don't
main
think he
podcast
uses
to get to the bottom
Instagram
of
anymore. I
this.
think he got bullied. Doesn't use
And
anymore.
then we would have been basically one of
Hit
the
him on
top
Twitter,
wrestling
bro.
podcasts in the game.
Listen,
right now.
listen.
We would-
Crush it every day. Introducing a new net spend prepaid MasterCard. Undertaker celebrating 30 years. Get paid up to 2 days faster with direct deposit. Undertaker's just selling out now, man. He's
Bro,
just
I mean,
all out.
bro, no lie on that Steve Austin show. Stone Cold pours him a shot, and then after they drink the shot, he goes, "By the way, are you kayfabing me? You working me?" He's like, "What? About what?" Like you see this confused look on Undertaker's face. It's like, "About what?" He's like, "Man, all my years, I known you to be like a liquor guy." He's like, "Yeah," and then you just see him go down in his table, and he brings up the whole Undertaker wine. Have you seen those with the Undertaker wine? He's like, "What is this?" He just starts dying laughing.
That's funny.
And you can tell he's like embarrassed. Like, "Why are you laughing about it?" No, I was like, "No, I'm just saying. I thought you was a straight shooter with the liquor." He's like, "Now you like wine?" He's like, "Yeah, you get all these opportunities when you're done now and to expand and do different things." I was like, "Oh, so you sold out?"
Yeah, 100%. He's doing prepaid cards.
You sold out. You got the prepaid cards.
Yeah.
You got the urban demo on lock with the Snoop Dogg crossover.
Mhm.
I see what you're doing, Taker. Trying
Right,
to win
guys.
back those Blue Lives fans. I feel you.
This was
But no,
good.
it was definitely a pleasure, you guys.
Mhm.
Definitely we'll get back together next week. Hopefully we'll get Louie B. If not, I'll definitely hit up our fourth square, Mr. Matt Lowe. We can get him back on the show.
We'll get we need him to have a shot at this title.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, especially with War Games. Yeah, we can get a fourth member down on the predictions. I know last time we had Doc.
Mhm.
I didn't tell anybody about it, so it was kind of unofficial. Whatever. But Young Baca just wants to win. That's all he wants. He just wants to beat everybody.
I just want a W.
But thanks again, you guys, for joining us. Another week of wrestling, another episode of the Flow Show. This is For the Love of Wrestling. We have been your host, Young Baca, Kwency Jones, Mr. Krazy K, possibly. I don't know. Just Brian.
Hopefully, next episode, Krazy K is going to have his YPP tattoo, man. That's my
Krazy K with Brian Andrew.
We actually we may get a Krazy K when it comes to the match predictions. He may get a little bit ruthless. He has a title to defend now. You know what I mean? So he got to do everything and everything to win that title and regain.
Everyone, I gotta develop a character now. I gotta.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna be like, hey, I don't like this Brian Andrew guy. He's a little bland. I remember Krazy K. He's a little bit more.
You got a couple promos, bro.
For the people that don't know, Krazy K versus Carmel Vine. That's the match they want to see, right? If they don't know who Krazy K is,
Krazy K versus who? Say it again. Krazy K
versus Carmel Vine. That's the battle, right? That's the battle that really shows who Krazy K is. Correct, Brian?
Does it show who Krazy K is, or it shows how crazy K is?
Crazy and sex is how he is.
But by the way, can I ask where did the K come from?
Cracker.
Really? I was wondering what that meant because I was like, Brian Andrew, there's no K. I was like, I don't know his middle name.
Some friends, not all of them, but some friends would just call me Cracker because I don't know why. Like I was just that guy, and then I went from Cracker to Krazy K.
So that means Young Baca is going to start at a battle rap circuit. He's going to be Crazy N. Is that what's going
to? That's the logic that Krazy K has.
I like that though. He's like, and that way, if somebody calls you that, you're like, yeah, that's my name, and it's not even. It doesn't even count as a point. It's just like, nope, I got it. But yeah, Krazy K, Young Baca, Kwency Jones, go. This has been the Flow Show. We can see you guys next week, and we are out.
Later.